This is Volusia Today, a public information radio program brought to you by the County of Volusia. Here is your host, Kevin Captain.
Good morning and welcome to Volusia Today. I'm Kevin Captain, the county's Community Information Director. Today I'm joined by co-host David Hunt. Volusia Today is sponsored by the Daytona Beach International Airport, the Ocean Center, Volusia Recycles, and Votran Public Transportation. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Kevin.
So we had ZZ Top there open us up because we have Cyrus Callum in the studio today, and he's the county's sharp-dressed man, I guess, right?
100%. Every time I see Cyrus, I compliment the outfit he has going on and try to get a little advice to try to kind of up my game a little bit.
And today happens to be Friday, so his dress-down Friday is no vest.
There's no vest today. No three-piece suit. And this is probably like a little, bright colors, a little bit of elastic so I can get my Incredible Hulk on. So, show what I've been doing in the gym.
Excellent. So we got Cyrus Callum. He is the Director of Aviation and Economic Resources for Volusia County. And we have Helga van Eckert. She is the Director of Economic Development in the county. So thank you for being here, Heather and Cyrus.
Thank you. Good morning.
Excellent. So, Dave, before we get started with questions with Cyrus and Helga, did you vote?
I did vote. I didn't get in early, as I'm sure a lot of people did, but I went the day of. I took my daughter with me. She's 6 years old.
Cool.
And I just want to compliment Lisa Lewis because we went there and it was an awesome experience. Everybody was so friendly. My daughter was interested, asking questions, how the whole process worked. And her favorite part was she got a sticker at the end, and she was just pumped. So it was an amazing process, amazing experience, and it was awesome to be able to help educate the youth or my daughter personally on the voting process and the importance of voting.
Excellent, and definitely kudos go out to Lisa Lewis and
Yes.
her team because it was a flawless election and certainly demonstrates the great leadership she's got. So Helga, if we could start off with you. I know recently you had the Q meeting, which is the quarterly meeting of economic development, where you report a lot of the numbers and data and all the good stuff that's happening economically around the county. Tell us a little bit about wrap-up of the last meeting.
Sure. It was a great one. These things seem to get better and better every time we do them. And fortunately for us, thanks to your office and your support, we actually get to film it and put it up on YouTube.
Live stream, yeah.
Yeah, and do live stream. So those who aren't able to make it are able to watch live. We've just this past Friday, we had Laura DeBella, who is the brand new Deputy Secretary of Commerce for the state. And Laura informed us on what's going on with the state right now, things that she wants to do to modify the way economic development is done within the county. Also explained all of the different things that are done by that office. It's amazing, everything that they control and they manage. So it was wonderful to have her. She's also been a longtime friend for me. We've been friends about a decade now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it worked out really well. So we're really cheering her on. She's a former economic developer, so she walks the walk, and she'll do great things in that position. But with respect to the queue, what we've had now is standing room only registration, because we do require pre-registration now than before. And having the live feed actually makes it better because we've had great what's the word I'm looking for? Participation.
Right? Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
great.
Yes, great. It's still early. Great participation from the online version as well.
Well, that's great, and you hold it in the McGee Room at the airport, and
great,
it's a
yeah.
great place for an economic development Q meeting. But you're right. I mean, being able to live stream it and have more people from the public be able to watch it, and not only is it just live, but it's also out on the website that people can now watch after
Yes.
the fact if they're interested in listening to Laura's presentation.
Yes, we have it on floridabusiness.org, right on the first homepage. You scroll down to the bottom and you can click right on there. It's great. We're really becoming much more accessible, I think is the word I want to use, to the public. We're trying to make a point to put everything that we do on different social media platforms so that if you can't make the actual event, because, people have jobs
Sure.
and do other things in their lives besides economic development, Don't know why, but they do. So this
That's Helga's
makes us
world.
accessible.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good world, let me tell you.
And those
Right?
World.
Yes.
And those meetings can be found on the County of Volusia YouTube, as Helga was saying.
Yes.
For people who might not know, can you just give us like an overview of how the meetings are structured, what kind of information
Sure.
is given at these meetings?
Sure. So each quarter we have a different speaker, but I have the privilege of opening up the event, so I get to be the opening act. It's better than following some of them. But what I get to talk about is where we are from an economic standpoint within the county. We'll talk about things like the number of permits that are out there, what trends we're seeing in employment, where we are compared to the rest of the state, where we are compared to the rest of the nation, what our GDP is. So each quarter we try to focus in on a different main topic, but then, as you know, we also produce a booklet called
Yes.
The Q, and each quarter that has a whole myriad of data in it that people can look through, and that book is released on the same day as the breakfast. So
It's a great resource, because
Thank
like you
you.
said, it's got the graphs in there. So for those of us who maybe don't want to look at the actual numbers, you look at the graphs that are on there.
Pictures are pretty.
Yes, but it's a real good representation of what's happening in real time here in Volusia County.
Yeah, and you know what's wonderful about it is we've designed it now so that when you go through it, it truly tells a story.
Mm-hmm.
So each graph walks you to the next graph. We may have a topic like workforce by industry versus the salary over time. And you can look and see, where we've had the workforce increasing, salaries have tended to go up, right? The average salary for
Sure.
that. We'll talk about what the average salary is in the county. We'll show, for example, one of the main things in this last presentation was we've really hit beyond COVID. So we're out of from
That's
an
good.
employment standpoint,
That's
right?
good,
There's
yeah.
still issues. Everybody should still wear a mask when they need to.
Right.
But
But economically.
yes, but economically, we're over the hump. For a while there, the tourism and hotel industry was really suffering because they couldn't find the workforce and people weren't coming in. From a workforce standpoint, I'm talking about, not a revenue stream. They have increased workforce so that they now are above the numbers they were pre-COVID, okay? The only industry that's lost has been government. Truthfully, government has shrunk, and health. Health has not made it, they've made it to pre-COVID, but they're suffering over time because burnout.
Yeah, and that makes
I mean,
sense.
our health
That
professionals
makes sense,
were
right?
really put through the ringer.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them have opted to take a break, breathe a little bit, or change professions, But the industry that we've seen a substantial growth from a percent standpoint has been logistics, transportation, and distribution, which makes sense, right? During COVID, we had a lot of people who were in the home, so they were buying online. All of us are a little more comfortable ordering clothes online now. You don't have to try them on, unless you're Cyrus, of course. He doesn't try on. He has stuff custom made. But the
Cyrus
rest of
owns
us,
stock in the men's warehouse,
Yeah.
I think, or
Absolutely.
Joseph A. Bank, or
Yeah.
one
no,
of
he's
those,
got
right?
a tailor on order.
K&G men's.
Right? But the rest of us, those of us who are normal people, we're much more comfortable ordering online now.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
as a result, distribution, warehouse, logistics has taken a big toll as a whole, and Volusia County is ideally situated for that. So
And that's just a snapshot of what takes place in the Q meetings. I know you could talk. They're about an
I
hour.
warned you.
I know.
That can of worms.
The Q meetings are about an hour, and you really dive
We
in.
keep it strictly to an hour.
Too. Good
Yeah,
breakfast.
yeah. Thank you for mentioning in the breakfast, Cyrus. Can you tell us a little bit about the breakfast?
I heard something about maple syrup bacon or something
That's
like that.
right. So, yeah, if you got to come early for that, because there have been a number of attendees that will come and they'll have a plate full of bacon. So if you're a bacon fan, come early. Make sure you're there on time.
That's
the
excellent.
eggs, scrambled well, and biscuits, and I try not to do it because it throws my diet off. But definitely a good opportunity to come and eat well and then listen to some good things about what's going on in our economy.
For sure.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, too, we have the opportunity for a couple of minutes before we kick off. The meeting starts at 8, but people show up at 7:10, and there's great networking, great conversation going on in the room. We actually had a hard time getting the room to settle down this last queue, right?
They were excited.
We had to start the Pledge of Allegiance to get people to start paying attention as the meeting was starting.
Hey, that's exciting.
It is, and it's like you're saying, it's a really good opportunity for business owners.
Yeah.
But that's just one of the many great opportunities you have for business owners. Can you tell us a little bit about the Volusia Business Resources website and the
Just the website?
Yeah.
Well, I know the website looks.
I'm
It's
not
got
giving
30
Cyrus
minutes.
a chance to chat here.
It's got a whole new, fresh look and feel to it, and
Oh, my
it's
God.
a lot more easy to navigate.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, first, before we go off the queue, I just want to say, with the queue, all of that time and energy that goes in the setup, really, like I said, your team does so much, but Heather Edwards from our office, she keeps us on a clock like nobody's business. She's just amazing. So it couldn't
She's
be
a
done
rock
without
star,
her.
for sure.
Yeah, and now if we want to talk about the VBR website, Katrina Frail from our office has taken a lead, but she's worked extremely closely with all of the VBR members that are on that committee to make sure that the end product is reflective of what our community truly needs. And the content on that site is solely based on the business survey that we did last year, which I've been on this program and we've chatted about.
Right,
so
right.
I'm not going to bore you again with my statistics, but we had great data come from that. Just any business that's listening, we're going to be pushing out the next survey for this year. So we really do use that information. We synthesize, we process, we manipulate it around so that it makes sense, and it's used to help us develop programs such as the website to make sure that we're getting at least responsive to their needs, if not ahead of what the needs they see coming are.
That's excellent.
So-
We're talking with Helga van Eckert and Cyrus Callum from the county's Airport and Economic Development Division. We'll take a quick break and come back and continue talking about the new and exciting things happening in Volusia County. Stay with us.
I'm Will Roberts, your Volusia County tax collector. Nobody enjoys standing in line. That's why the next time you have business at the tax collector's office, skip the line by paying online. Here's how you do it. If you need to renew a vehicle registration or pay property taxes, all you need is a computer or a smartphone. To pay online, you may use a debit or credit card or your checking account. To get to the secured site, log on to vctaxcollector.org/pay. That's vctaxcollector.org/pay. Choose either vehicle registration or property tax. Then type in the information that's needed to complete the transaction. Before you log on, you do need to know that the website's third-party vendor charges a service fee. The tax collector does not receive any portion of this fee. So skip the line and pay online. For more information about services the tax collector provides, please log on to vctaxcollector.org. That's vctaxcollector.org.
Volusia County is a beautiful place to live, but if
If we don't respect it, who will?
Litter is a problem, one that we can solve.
But it's going to take all of us working together.
What matters is that we all do our part.
Don't be a litter bug.
And pick up litter whenever you see it.
every litter bit counts.
Keep Volusia beautiful.
We're back. I'm Dave Hunt along with Kevin Captain, and you're listening to Volusia Today, a public information program brought to you by the County of Volusia.
Thanks, Dave. So, Cyrus, let's talk airport. What's new and exciting at the airport? And do we have any new carriers in the queue anytime soon?
Well, we always have carriers in the queue, but the biggest thing, and that what's going to help with carriers in the queue, is we were awarded from the U.S. Department of Transportation the Small Community Air Service Development Program grant in the amount of $500,000. And what that's going to do is allow us to work with an air carrier about starting up service to Chicago O'Hare. So great news in that front.
Wow.
Because we have American Airlines that's already on property, and one of their hubs is Chicago here. So it's going to be easy for us to negotiate that potential service. Now, of course, the biggest challenge, and this has been going on since the pandemic, is the pilot shortage. So when the airlines got their money from the government, they opted to allow people early outs and pilots and flight attendants and maintenance crews and so forth. Well, vital missing part of an aircraft operation is having the pilots. So with the pilots that have been retired and moved on, now the airlines are trying to scramble and find ways to, backfill that shortage. So hopefully we'll put together a program that will be beneficial to both the airlines and the airport. Will come in, and I hope in short order I'll be able to announce we'll have service to Chicago here. So the hard part's done. We have the $500,000, and then we also have an additional pledged amount of minimum revenue guarantees from the community, which is fantastic. So we're doing everything that we can to get additional options to the community here.
Excellent.
Well, the airport is a true gem. I'm actually flying out to Arizona in October, and my dad had
time to go.
Yeah, it's for a wedding.
It beats July.
Yeah, right. And I had some free tickets. They were first class tickets. I actually downgraded to sit and coach just to fly out of Daytona.
Well, thank you for that.
Yes, of course. And when you're coming down Clyde Morris and you see the airport, the International Speedway, Embry-Riddle University, it's just a view to behold. It just shows you kind of the core economic area we have in that area. But the airport, when I went recently, I noticed all the new upgrades. Can you tell us about some of the new upgrades and the fresh look that it kinda got?
So, the $14 million terminal improvement program inside, we have tons of amenities going on, things for everybody. Have a mother's room. We're just wrapping up a program, the Wish You Were Here postcard program, where people could, create their postcards, put them in the mail, and we have a contest that actually ended on the 19th, but we're going to be voting on who has the best postcard, and then out of that, 4 winners are going to be selected, and then 1 is going to have a weekend resort stay at the Max Beach Resort, which is one of the newer top-of-the-line hotels that we have on the beach. So we're looking forward to getting that program wrapped up. But just some things to get the community engaged with what's going on at the airport. Also, another program, we have Canines and Canine initiatives. So the Canines are there to provide additional safety, and our Volusia Sheriff's Office has been very helpful with that. So with that, each one of the Canines that are on staff here, they have a plush stuffed animal that, if you're lucky enough, or if you're traveling with kids, they'll give the plush stuffed animal to the kids. And, just once again, just having that community partnership. A lot of people, if they see the dogs, they may be intimidated, and they are working dogs, but we want everybody to know that, they're here for us and our safety, and make sure that, while we're not the biggest airport, we're one of the safest airports in the country.
And it's a nice touch to, make families feel at home and make the, the kids have a good environment when they're coming into the airport and they're going through security and they see the dogs. And I saw the video that was created. It was really cool where, the deputies are giving the little plush dogs to the kids. And it's just, what a cool touch. It's just so neat. So speaking of airlines, I heard American Airlines has got some mainline aircraft stuff coming. What's all that about?
That's right. So right now, American Airlines is flying out of Daytona with regional jets. And regional jets, once again, there's smaller aircraft, but still you have that convenience that you need as a passenger traveling out. Now they're going to be bringing in bigger aircraft, more in line with what you see Delta flying, and so a little bit more comfortable, true first class seats. And what you call in the industry, this is an up gauge in service. So now when you go to Charlotte, you're not running all the way to Concourse E and trying to make your connection. Now you're going to be a lot closer to where the rest of the mainline action is. So it's a huge opportunity for us. And, you know, Americans tested a lot of different markets from Daytona Beach. You know, we're going to come back with Washington Dulles, hopefully, or Washington Reagan, I'm sorry, in the spring. And then, of course, with this Chicago thing that's kind of lurking, we already have Dallas-Fort Worth and Philadelphia. So there's a lot of markets that we're testing out, and we need you all out there to actually use the service, because trust me, the airlines know if you're driving to Orlando. So you got to definitely use the service in order for them to continue to put that capacity in our market.
Which means that first class ticket transfer was that much more important.
That's exactly it.
Because the number of flyers drive where the airlines go, correct? Well, that's great news from a user standpoint, from a Volusia County resident standpoint. The more flights, the better. Any opportunity I get to fly out of Daytona, it's the first thing I look. I'll pay more for it. I will sacrifice things just to be able to fly out of there. You do make it a great experience, as you're saying, all these little personal touches and the community feel.
And then one other thing to kind of ease that convenience, TSA PreCheck, we have an enrollment event that's taking place on the 29th of August through the 2nd of September. So while it only takes on average 10 minutes to get through our security checkpoint, wherever you're coming back from, you know, if you have TSA PreCheck on your boarding pass, it's going to make your experience a lot better. You know, those of you that drive down to Orlando, and if you don't have pre-check, you find yourself in line for half hour, and then you start getting that anxiety that you're going to miss your flight because you're not getting through. Well, if you have TSA pre-check, you won't have that issue.
That's good. We're talking with Cyrus Callum and Helga van Eckert with the Airport and Economic Development. We'll take our last break and close up Volusia Today. Stay with us.
Subscribe to the Volusia County YouTube channel.
And hit the bell icon to know what's happening in your hometown.
There are so many great places to explore.
And things to learn.
With over 1,000 videos available right now, the channel offers something for everyone.
Let's go!
Did you know we have countless features showcasing history, nature, wildlife, and recreation? Subscribe and hit the bell icon.
Or that we live stream important county meetings and workshops where leaders make decisions that can impact our everyday lives. Did you subscribe yet?
Or that we record our weekly radio show, Volusia Today, where we interview staff from the different divisions and departments across our great county, and they discuss the nitty-gritty of their field and expertise.
Go ahead, subscribe.
But that's not it. There's more. Subscribe and hit the bell icon and fully explore.
Score!
After recent heavy rains, mosquitoes are on the move. Did you know that if a container can retain water, a mosquito can lay eggs in it? A small amount of water can lead to big problems. Take a walk around your property and tip and toss any standing water. Be a buzzkill. Put a stop to mosquitoes.
You can access Volusia County government online at volusia.org. Listen to county council meetings, pay for permits or tags, or search the property appraisers' databases. Volusia.org is your Volusia County government information resource.
Welcome back. We're with Volusia Today with Cyrus Callum from the airport and Helga van Eckert from Economic Development. So, Cyrus, let me just go back on what Dave said earlier about, you know, you're flying out in October, and you said it was a little bit more expensive. I'll tell you a quick story. I had to go to Wisconsin. I had a death in the family, and went online, got the prices, and I found out, well, okay, Orlando was about $100 cheaper a ticket. So I thought, hey, that's a lot cheaper. We're going to go ahead and go with that. By the time we figured out the timing to drive there, the cost to park the car there, and the car would be there for several days, and just really the hassle of the time, I finally went back to my wife and I said, how about let's just go out of Daytona. Well, I don't hear the end of that ever again. So whenever we fly somewhere, she says, look, just to save time, listen to me, we're going out of Daytona. So it's really not that much more expensive. Right. Or really, when you look at the expense, it's more convenient, it's fast, it's friendly, it's safe. It's just what the motto is. And I think it just makes a huge impact on the economic development. I did see a figure once where our airport alone brings in what, 2 billion, 2.1 billion, something like that?
2.1 billion worth of economic impact to our community. So, yeah, if you think about it, when you're driving from Daytona Beach and you're headed down to Orlando and you got gas prices being what they are, and Orlando's raising their parking rates, so you guys are going to pay more to park in their garage. You start to eat up all of that benefit that you think you had
Correct.
with the airfare. And remember, like I said, the airlines know that you're doing this, because when you're buying your ticket, you put your zip code in and they see the 32118 zip code or whatever the case may be, that goes a long way. So you're not giving the airline any incentive to put service into our market if you're willing to pay that extra $100, $200, and you're making that connection for the airline, right? Because you're driving down to Orlando, you're using a mode of transportation to make that connection. Let the pilots make the connection for you. You know?
Yeah. Well, I just want to add one other thing to that. And as the woman in this room right now, the safety factor really is huge.
That is.
I mean, when I fly out of Daytona versus Orlando, I know I've got a short walk to the main gate. I know I've got a short walk to get through the building. And when I've gone to Orlando, sometimes you're flying in 11, 12 o'clock at night because that's the flight that's available. And you're walking out and you've got 45 minutes to get to your car. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And while we got 2 minutes left, Helga,
Yes.
can you tell us how to find the Volusia Business Resources website and why somebody should go visit the website?
Yes, VolusiaBusinessResources.com. VolusiaBusinessResources.com is the website. And you really need to go there because it's got the resources you need for your business to succeed. That's what it comes down to.
Very well said. I like that.
Surprised you there, didn't I?
Practice that. Wow.
That's right.
That's excellent. That's good stuff. So I know you're a pilot, Cyrus, and we
Yes,
were
sir.
talking earlier about a pilot shortage. Have they ever tried to nab you to say, hey, can you quick fly us up to Chi-Town or something?
Well, I'm a little long in the tooth. I fly recreationally, but you get that bug every once in a while. But I don't think that I could tolerate the lifestyle. I need my weekends. I
For
play
soccer,
Yeah,
right?
I play soccer on the weekends, and if I were to fly like that professionally, they would take that from me. So I've got to hold on to that while I still got it.
Plus, we don't want to lose them.
Yeah. I'm here. We're doing big things here in the county and at the airport. There's a lot of good news and a lot of good things to come. In September, in particular, we got a joint win with Economic Development in the airport. A departmental win that I think is going to be the first domino with a lot of huge things to happen with the airport.
Oh, that's a little plug. That means we're going to have him back on, Dave.
Of course. Looking
That's
forward
right.
to it.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much, Cyrus Callum. He's the director of the airport and economic resources for Volusia County, and Helga van Eckert, the director of economic development. Thank you both so much for being on Volusia Today.
Thanks,
you. Gentlemen.
Appreciate getting the word out.
Absolutely.
Yes, VBR, VolusiaBusinessResources.com. Everyone, don't forget that website. It's pretty awesome.
You got to check it out. It's an amazing site.
For sure. With that, we'll close Volusia Today. Take care, stay safe, and help your neighbors. Have a great today.
If you have a comment about Volusia Today, or if there is a topic you would like to hear featured, please contact Volusia County Community Information at 1-866-345-0345.